Watching Sky Sports 2.
After 15 laps, Robinson Newton. Bosco is in third place now. Chris Walker has succumbed. Chris Walker drops back to fourth. Well, we wonder how long for.
Yes, indeed. I remind you that the lad who's gone past him is the championship leader. Here we are at Goddard's again. Now, how close is Newton? He's not, is he? Robinson's pulled a gap on the experienced man.
Yeah, Jamie Robinson, I've got to say that is a sign of, well, excessive maturity at 19 years old. To be able to just ease away and keep those quick laps coming before Ian Newton has been able to recover from that passing manoeuvre, well, that is usually the thing reserved for the experienced men, not for 19-year-olds that just happen to slap you about now and again out on the track.
What a talent. And the only shame about this picture is, Keith, it's the Dutch sponsor that bought him the motorbike, not a British firm. I find that a bit of a pity.
Yeah, it's a bit of a pity. It's also a bit of a pity that there's not a lot more money in this man at the moment. I mean, he actually has gone the whole 9 yards when it comes to trying as hard as he can to get sponsorship. I mean, the amount of times he was on my office telephone for the last 3 years, I had enough of hearing from him.
He didn't think he was going to get money out of you, did he?
No, but he thought I might know where there is some.
Ah, the innocence of you.
Of course, I didn't give him your name.
1-1. And he is stretching. I mean, this is the biggest gap of the race by far. This is... What a precocious talent this lad is. Ian Newton might not be thinking that at the moment. He's an experienced man, Keith. Can he get back to him?
Well, I don't think so, because I think we've already said we've seen two fastest laps from Jamie Robinson. He had the pole time. He's got the full set at the moment. There it is, 1.2 between Robinson and Newton at the front. Bosco is in third place and unable, it would seem, to be able to do anything about that. Chris Walker still...
No!
A disaster indeed. Jamie Robinson is out of this race, and we know not for why. Jamie Robinson, I can only guess it's a machine failure. So the Dock Shop Aprilia has thrown its lunch up. Jamie Robinson can only cry into his helmet. That is a disaster for the young man. He's not going to recover from that today at Donington Park. Well, he scored a moral victory, I've got to say. Let's take a look and see what happens here, whether we get any smoke or whether it just stops. He's all right on the gas there, you can see. Oh, that's where it goes. Straight away. Nothing left at all from the Aprilia. Ian Newton will have seen it go. Don't know why, but that looked to me then like that bike played up all the way up that straight, and that's it. Yep. It's not going anywhere, Jamie. Well, that has got to be the worst luck anyway.
Oh.
Well, the tank's capacity reduced by a fistful.
Yes, that is a tragedy. They did have engine problems, detonation diagnosed in the practice sessions, in qualifying, and we can only assume from this distance it's terminal in the race.
Jamie Robinson then, dismayed, cannot understand why his luck should be like this, but I have to say it was one of the best rides from a British rider we've seen for some time. He might have been beating an established British rider, but there are some very fast European people behind him, European Championship riding people, I should say.
Grand Prix riding people.
These guys were absolutely showing them the way around Donington Park, and despite the fact they're at home, home advantage is something that went out years and years and years ago. All these men will have had equal opportunity to practice, test and qualify on this track, and really machines set up for people as experienced as we've got here in this European Championship. It would have given no home advantage to Ian Newton or Jamie Robinson. So I think a victory in this class today at Donington will have been good for both of them. Newton, Bosco in second place now. Walker goes back up to third. Boudinot is in fourth.
That's Walker and Boudinot we're looking at there. And hello, are we on for the two Brits on the rostrum? Now that would be a turn-up. Here they are again, Chris Walker leading in third place.
Would have been nice to have seen three, I've got to say. And then he hangs his head and wonders what he did to deserve that. It's a long walk back to the paddock, Jamie, but it will give you some time to cool down. He's nearly there. That's Tom Wheatcroft's suite. He's walking past, the owner of Donington Park. That's where he sits and suns himself while watching motorcycling, you know.
What a nice lifestyle. Now we're looking.
He did work for it.
Absolutely. The only man in the whole of Donington Park who isn't shedding a tear for Jamie Robinson, I suspect.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Ian Newton might not be a Jamie Robinson fan, but at the same time, he does recognise talent, and he certainly recognises and respects a good performance. And all the passes that Robinson put on Ian Newton, despite what you've been saying, were very, very neat indeed. And it seemed to me like it was more than a gentleman's job out on the track.
I will not decry the talent of young Robinson at all, Keith. I just wish that there was a good British sponsor to put a good team behind that lad, because he has the talent that deserves it.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So unanimous in the commentary box, a very rare occurrence indeed. If you put money on that, then possibly you'd have been able to afford to sponsor Jamie Robinson.
Exactly. Now, Chris Walker, a new name, I must say, to me. I saw him for the first time at Brands Hatch. He won there. He had his first pole, had his first national win there a week ago in a shell race.
He's a new name, but of course the wily old Peter Paget, I can call him old and I can call him wily, from Paget's of Batley, will have spotted the talent of Chris Walker and stuck a bike under him straight away.
I'll tell you what they did do last Wednesday, Keith. They put a 500 under him at Mallory Park for a tryout.
Oh, we've got 15 and 22 coming through there. 15 is Massimiliano Diago. He's qualified. He qualified quite well. And well, there's a battle going on there, that's for sure, as Newton eases his way past the back marker.
Yeah, Ian Newton now in a serene progress. His pit board will be telling him how far behind Bosco Scuro is. He's the third bike in that picture, Bosco Scuro.
Yeah,
second place man is a lap man in between them.
Martin Johnson is the man in between.
20 laps now, 24-lap race we're on. So as long as Ian Newton does not suffer the sort of misfortune that befell young Jamie Robinson, Keith.
And he has known that kind of misfortune many times in his career, Ian Newton.
Not the luckiest man in British motorcycle racing.
Well, I remind you, I went out to Northern Ireland last weekend and watched this man win the junior race out there. Ian Newton immaculate on the 9-mile street circuit of the Northwest 200. Coleraine, Portrush, Port Stewart circuit is frightening to look at. It's even more frightening to ride on. And Ian Newton was superb on that. It's always said, of course, that road riders can't race on circuits. Well, here we have evidence that that's not the case, because Newton is good on both.
And you rather like that circuit out in Ulster, don't you, Keith?
It's the first track I have my first international win at the Northwest 200 and the lap record. How about that?
Just thought I'd bring that one to your attention.
Thank you. And I responded accordingly, of course.
Straight in there. Saw the gap straight through it. Now then, where is Newton? We're looking at that dice we saw earlier there, heading up the coast. Oh, this is a fraught one, isn't it,
Well, that's 22, Roberto Antonello. Now, Antonello is second on 26 points in this European Championship, so he's doing himself a whole load of good. Massimiliano Diano is in equal third place on 20 points. So these men, it's a big deal for the European Championship between these two. You've got to really forget about Ian Newton and Jamie Robinson to worry about the championship, and of course these men are battling all year long for it.
And Aprilia on the right, a Yamaha on the left. We mentioned Jay Vincent's Yamaha puts him at a bit of a disadvantage, Keith. So this lad number 15, well up the championship on a Yam, there's got to be some talent there, hasn't there?
I think there probably has, but again, I did say that Donington was one of those tracks where a machine disadvantage wasn't such a bad thing, except if it's in the handling department, and certainly the Yamaha looks quite good round here compared with the Aprilia, and he's up the inside. Well, smoke that one, sir.
And D'Agno, number 15, is from San Marino, the same as our championship leader Bosco Scuro. So the San Marino lad's really putting it about. Whoa, there goes that Yam up the inside again.
Yeah, and everyone's getting crossed up. Roberto Antonello, he's also from Italy on the Aprilia, and he's on bike 22, and stitched that.
The Yamaha turned so tight round Goddard's, got in his way, but Aprilia power, and they have power now. This little Italian company, oh, look at him go for the inside down Craner. No mercy. Still
got to have the horsepower to pass, of course. So through Hollywood into Craners. Still it's 22, Roberto Antonello. I remind you, these two are battling for the championship. Antonello is second in the championship at the moment. D'Agno is in third place. And we're on lap 21, so less than 3 laps to go for your race leaders, because they're a long way in front of these two.
And these two are now the entertainment on the track, as the others appear to have sorted themselves out a little, certainly since the departure, the tragic departure, I must say, of Jamie Robinson. That rather florid adjective suits that situation, I do feel. Now then, the Aprilia, the real quick bike, leads what we suspect to be a distinctly slower bike, the Yamaha. Oops, wobble from the Aprilia onto the back straights.
Yeah, this is the place where the Aprilia should count, but if the Yamaha can get tucked in hard enough behind the Aprilia slipstream, it'll drag it all the way down the straight and drag the best out of the motor. Into the braking area at the S's, into the S's then. And this, of course, is where the other man, 15 there, is Massimiliano D'Agno. He could make a braking manoeuvre at Melbourne Loop if he's close enough. Well, he's not.
He made one at Goddard's last time round, Keith, and got in the Aprilia's way.
Maybe
he's obviously looking for a repeat performance.
Well, I would say that your reading of that is probably quite good, but of course you don't go quite so good straight up as you do straight on. So a little wheelie there out of Melbourne will have cost him a fraction amount of time. And sure enough, at Goddard, he's still behind.
And this means the Aprilia man should be able to use the superior power down the front straight, make the break and get a clean entry into Redgate and disappear down the Craner curves. That inadvertent wheelie you spotted there, coming out of the loop, looks to have broken the toe, and number 15, Massimiliano D'Agno. I think, Keith, that's it for him.
We'll have to wait and see while we look back up the track. It's still Ian Newton that leads from Boscosuro. 3.3 seconds behind now. Chris Walker still third. Boudinot is fourth. Fiorillo fifth. And Antonello, this battle we're looking at, 22. Antonello is on the leaderboard in sixth place.
And Fiorillo, who disappeared, Keith, and he went straight on at the S's, has fought back. That boy's been going quick round here.
Well, Fiorillo is a fast man. You've already said that. Grand Prix man from the past and still going for it here in the European Championship race.
It's a bit of a trick that an old boy like him coming back to a European Championship race.
No way to talk about Ian Newton. He's a fine rider.
Fiorillo, sir. I live too near him to have things like that said about him.
So Ian Newton is your race leader on bike 36. The S&S Engineering Aprilia going so well, and back behind again the Yamaha man. So Diagno is in front of number 22, Roberto Antonello. He's in sixth place. That was a sixth and seventh place battle while we look back down the track.
That's remarkable.
It is remarkable. So the Yamaha boy really is going for it. Well, the Yamaha seems to have a lot of low down power in the middle of the corner. It could also be down to gearing. We don't know how they got these bikes set up, of course, but the Yamaha maybe delivers a bit of punch down the bottom. We don't know. I've never ridden one.
But he's turning it tight, isn't he?
Well, yeah, that's for sure. I mean, look, he's got no trouble in making the thing handle, but again, I said earlier on, if you've got a good handling bike here, you can embarrass some of the faster bikes, but not for long. Usually the fast guys on a fast bike have the advantage by the flag.
And I think Massimiliano Dagano, I beg his pardon, number 15, is illustrating that point of yours dramatically here. I do believe as we come to 23 laps in the 24-lap race, that this young man, another one to watch. We said at the start, this championship is about the future, Keith. He's one to watch.
Oh, and that's how he did it. Dear me. Well, we wondered how he got by. It was take out the man to my left, and I might end up in sixth place here. Wow, drama indeed. No wonder 22 Robert Antonello took a bit of a breather after that particular pass.
Here he goes again.
Massimiliano Diagno is looking for another way past, and
what a boy this one is.
Or something.
Yes, that's exactly what number 22 is saying, isn't he?
This is the battle for sixth place, I remind you. And there it is. Newton still leads. Boscosuro is still in second place. Chris Walker still third. Boudinot is back to fourth place. Fiorillo is up to fifth. Antonello is 22. We're looking at him now in sixth place. And 15, right behind him in seventh, is Massimiliano Diagno.
Here they come. No, they don't. We're back with Chris Walker.
Chris Walker about to catch up with his compatriot, 31. I'm sorry, 31 is Fabrice Ballon from Luxembourg. I thought it was someone else in the race there. Last lap then for Ian Newton. Last time at Redgate Corner, an immaculate ride from an immaculate rider and a very professional 250 rider indeed. And he's British.
It's Lancastrian as well, which is even nicer.
That's not British.
How dare you?
Well, you're probably right, actually, Jimmy, sorry.
That immaculate phrase you used there, Keith, it is true, because Ian's bikes and team are always superbly turned out, aren't they? Really well done. And he's cruising-ish now to a decent win, a very decent win, over the championship leader of the European 250s, Luca Boscosuro.
The only problem, of course, is Ian Newton winning this. I mean, he's sort of well, we've called him a veteran. That is strictly true, I suppose. He's a veteran of many good campaigns in Europe and at home and in the Grand Prix as well. And the unfortunate thing about motorcycle racing, as in most sports, ageism rules.
Indeed.
And the fact is that he can't pick up the kind of sponsorship he rightly deserves for the kind of performances he puts on. Jamie Robinson, on the other hand, the man we've seen retire earlier on while leading this race, well, he's 19, he could get the money that he needs, but Ian Newton, it's all over for him just about.
Well, so hats off, I say, to the Aprilia UK importers for actually putting this very good 250 Aprilia under Ian Newton this year, Keith. Let's give them a tip of the hat for that.
Ian Newton then, out of the Melbourne loop for the last time, takes a long, leisurely look over his shoulder to see if there's any threat from anywhere. And it's only going to come from himself at this corner, Goddard's, because everyone is so far behind. Ian Newton, a well-deserved win from him. It's a shame Jamie Robinson wasn't with him, but it's Ian Newton who takes the checkered flag and wins the third round in the 250cc European Championship. A great ride.
Luca Boscosuro comes through for second place. And here's the dice for sixth that we've been enjoying. Number 22 leads. Damiano is in seventh. Kamikaze!
Oh, unbelievable. Well, did he leave his brake pads out? That's at Goddard.
Where's he gone?
He went straight on, yeah. He went to the helicopter pad, I think. So, unbelievable stuff from Massimiliano Diagno. He was on bike 15. And, well, he was prepared to do anything to beat Roberto Antonello, and almost did.
He was prepared to do anything on every corner from what we saw of that lad. Newton, Bosco, Skura and Walker. Walker on the rostrum. Those three go to the rostrum. Boudinot 4th. Fiorillo came back to 5th. Antonello won that fraught dice for 6th. But I reckon we should mark the name of Massimiliano Degano, who was 7th there, Keith. He's one to watch for the future as well. Ian Newton, well, let's hope he gets some more wins like this year in British domestic racing, because that's what he's going back to after this solitary European Championship outing.
A great ride then from Ian Newton, and well-deserved win there for him, miles and miles in front. We'll be coming up very soon with the second Superbike race here at Donington Park, and a few people to discuss that 250 race after this break.
You're watching Sky Sports.
Celebrates in the usual style, and a good soaking down by all. Champagne tastes so good when you're victorious. Well, you may have noticed a young man in there that we commented quite a lot on, 19-year-old Jamie Robinson. Well, he came to the Sky Sports studio quite a long time ago, just 2 years ago really, for the British Grand Prix. He was 16 then. He sat in with me on my first presentation of a motorcycle meeting. Seems like a longer time ago. He's grown about 6 inches since then, but he's just as cheeky as ever, and he was right in with a chance of winning that European 250 race. Very impressive performance. You haven't looked back this year, have you, so far?
No, this year's been going really good for me. We got the Aprilia, and things from there just really took off. I liked the bike, and you know, things were looking up, and I was really looking forward to Donington and the European race. And
so what happened to the bike?
4th gear just exploded. Going down to the old hairpin on that particular lap, I had a big problem with 4th gear, and then it just exploded, and the whole box just came to a complete end. And
you might be able to notice the man sitting next to you, Andy Kershaw, there taking notes. That's because Andy Kershaw is in the Sky Sports studio writing his motorcycle news column.
I'm a multimedia guy, Keith.
So what we've got to say is that if you want the news first, watch it on Sky Sports.
And then you'll get the same old gags on Wednesday in the motorcycle news com. Hard lines, Jamie, incidentally. That was a really good ride until that. So, you know, I'll tell you what astonishes me. If I had a problem going at that speed with my gearbox, I could hear things clunking around, I'd stop, because I'm a coward. And I think the whole thing was about to lock up and pitch me over the handlebars. But you carried on.
Yeah, well, I just thought, you know, if there's any slim chance that the bike can keep going, then I'm going to try it. But in the end...
Well, we've also got with us, of course, James Hayden. You'll be familiar with stoppages, and of course we haven't told you the story about Andy Kershaw breaking down on his Harley this morning on the way.
Yes, I know what it's like, boys.
Yeah, his back light fell off though. 4th gear didn't break up. The candle went out. James Hayden, you're familiar with the 250s. You've moved up to the 500 Grand Prix now. You got a few words of advice for the slightly younger man beside you?
No, I mean, I think his riding's doing his own, you know, talking.
Get his hair cool, that would be one of them.
Yeah.
From this sub-Cappy Rossi look he's sporting at the moment.
For a man wearing a hat like that.
James is.
No, for a man wearing a hat like that, you've got a lot of lip.
Why do you think I wear a hat? Because I've got a lousy haircut.
No, the only reason I've got long hair is because we've been on the continent now, and there's Caparossi and there's everybody else there with long hair, so it's just time.
A superstar, and I won't mention anything else that you might be up to while you're away from home and out of sight of your mum and dad. They must have enjoyed yesterday as well.
Yeah, well, everybody was really disappointed, you know. Like, I honestly thought that we've got that one in the bag, and when I was behind Ian, we were just taking things steady.
What did your good friend Ian Newton have to say to you, by the way?
Well, we actually went round and congratulated him, and he didn't really think much about it, so, you know, the guy's old and he's moving on, he won't be around for much longer, so we're here to stay.
Are we going to see you, James Hayden, riding back here in the UK more often? Don't see much of you nowadays.
Yeah, that's right. If I could get a good bike, I mean, I wouldn't want to come back for the British meetings, you know. I would like to have done this on the 916 or something, you know, especially the Dash for Cash tomorrow, but no, I wouldn't want to come back unless I was on something that's, you know, competitive.
How is the 500 scene for you? You've had some good rides, considering.
Yeah, it's been going great. I mean, the bike's working well, the team's working well. It's just been a question of luck. We've had so much bad luck, but it's got to change.
You're still not very old, and you've sort of ridden a fair old cross-reference of motorcycles, haven't you? I mean, the 250s, 500s. Have you ridden superbikes as well? I think you have, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, it's the best way, though. I just wanted as much experience as I could get, so I'd ride anything just to get out there.